Those of you who have read my description on my channel homepage will know that I have Aspergers Syndrome, which is part of the autistic spectrum, and it is a high achieving form of autism. Symptoms include interests that people with Aspergers follow obsessively, and certain routines that Aspergers people follow on a regular basis and find very hard to break away from. From my point of view, I always believe that you can live with Aspergers quite comfortably, because the way I deal with it is I follow my routines and my interests as I wish, but just make sure that when I'm talking about my interests, I don't talk to the point of boring people to death, because I have to respect that other people will not find my interests possibly as interesting as I do, and my routines, I also follow them as much as I like, as long as it doesn't encompass or involve anybody else getting into any difficulties. So in my view, Asperger's is quite easy to live with, but there is another few odd things that it can entail that it might not entail for everybody. One of them being possible eating disorders, which I also have, because sometimes I can go as long as 3 months eating the same food constantly without changing food, just eating the one food for 3 months solid, and then I will suddenly change to another food, which can be a bit difficult. If anything, that is the one part of my Aspergers syndrome that I find the most difficult to deal with, would be my eating part of it, because it is so difficult one time when you're eating one food constantly and you keep thinking that is going to be the food you're going to stick with for a long time, and then suddenly your body decides to change and you can't understand why, and then you're stuck on the next food for ages and ages. But again, that is also part of my Aspergers syndrome, which is an aspect for some people who have Aspergers, but not all. But as I've said, I believe it is possible to live with Aspergers syndrome if for the main two symptoms, routines and interests, you follow two rules. Make sure your routines don't encumber on anybody else and cause them any difficulty, and follow your interests as much as you like, as long as you don't talk to people to the point where other people get bored, because as you have to understand, your interests that you follow may not be followed by other people. So my final verdict is that it is possible, with careful planning and working out ways to do things, it is possible to live with Asperger's syndrome.